Okay, thank you very much. My name is Mark Johnson. I have been leading Civitas for 32 years. We are, make sure my slides are up. We are a firm from Denver, Colorado, and we're teamed with Stantec here in London, which has a large complement of very accomplished people who know the town, the community, the river, and the technical issues very, very well. We're a creative collaborative. We like to have a lot of fun. We have parties, we're silly, we wear wigs, and we do all sorts of quirky things. We are all about cities. We're called Civitas, not Suburbitas. And we were founded around the idea that people and nature should come together in cities such as here in this funny Bruegel painting, where all manner of debauchery is happening in the town square at the town well. But there's a point. People gather at where there are resources to create a life, interact with each other and those resources to make a city. We have built a lot. We've built many urban parks, and here you see a park that brings a river, a city, and nature together with people. We build people places and plazas that are comfortable and interesting. And I was saying earlier, I love these helpful reminders. If I hit close, the stage will collapse or something. I don't know what to do. There should be a full view. See, we're experts. We can even run a machine. We believe in tactile experiences that mean something and create feelings for you. Design gives meaning to places. Planning gives order, but design gives meaning. Seasonal experiences are very important. And everything I'm showing you are places that we designed. We love rivers. I've worked on 27 rivers, and what you're seeing on the left is the South Platte River completely reconstructed for aquatic habitat to help develop upland emergent and riparian vegetation and for safe access and boating. And on the right, people are using that river every day. And that river is designed. That's not a natural river. We believe in bringing water into the city as a precious resource. Crossing it on a beautiful bridge is an experience. The site on the right was a pipe warehouse that we turned into a wetland. Designing for fun. Fun is extremely important. A new project we recently opened in Calgary, kids riding down to the river, where we've cut a new channel across the island, and it's filled with people where you can get into the water and play. As you can see, people did not need instructions for this particular activity. But the point here is that we have this term triangulation. People see one another across a space, and it helps make it interesting and safe, and that's very important. Playing in nature, getting down and touching nature itself gives us a great sense of life. Now, when you see our boards, we have your friend Governor Simcoe here. We were trying to figure out how to give some kind of authenticity to our thinking, not to our presentation. And so we engaged Mike Baker, who used to be the director of Museum London, and we spent a lot of time with him. And so I wrote a letter to the governor, so you might like to read it later, requesting his humble permission to allow us to proceed. We have our own Facebook. You can see I'm a little chagrined by the governor there. But I will lead the team. Heath Miser, who's going to be speaking soon, will direct the team. Robin Campbell here. They're all hiding behind me. Robin is a native of London, here with the Stantec office, and knows the community intimately, and she will be the lead for everything that happens here, which is a lot of work. Sarah Moss is in the audience with us also, and I put her face there so you'll recognize her at the boards. We have a deep team of resources. Mike Baker, I mentioned, for heritage. Brad Fairley with Stantec is all about the ecology and morphology of the river. He knows this river intimately, and we've walked it with him several times. So what we're showing you as proposals is rooted in that kind of technical understanding. Nelson Alvera is intimately familiar with the flows of the river. Sean has looked at the ecology. Jim, who's here tonight, is an urban designer on the team, and Bob Davies has helped us with architecture. We have some more members on the bottom. As you look at the boards, they'll help tour you through the ideas. I like the lady with the umbrella. She's our posh advisor.
Existing framework. So London has always taken advantage of the river, but never really fully engaged it. Oh, let me hit next. Here we go. The necessity to protect homes from flooding is why the city has not fully engaged the river. After the Crown established a garrison here, two farmers quickly realized that soldiers always chose beer over water. The Carlings and the Labatts created breweries both near the river. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Origins and meanings. The Blackfriars Bridge and former Old Victoria Bridge were purchased in 1875 from the Wrought Iron Bridge Company of Ohio and symbolize a long tradition of London as a forward-thinking, progressive community. A couple of historical anecdotes. Again, back to the Carlings and the Labatts, they created breweries both near the river. Carling Creek, just north of the Blackfriars Bridge, is part of that legacy. White Sulphur Springs, near the Forks, was the first site of the oil exploration and later a spa that was visited by Cornelius Vanderbilt and his scandalously younger wife.
Restoring nature, that's me. All right. Restoring nature. So Stantec has completed several natural heritage studies along the Thames. We understand what the original condition of the ecosystem once was, what has been lost, and how it might be restored. Ecosystem enhancement is a foundation of our river corridor plan. Coincidentally, we received this photo a couple of weeks ago of a muskie that was caught near Harris Park. Muskie are a good indicator of healthy water conditions.
It's not Photoshop.
No, no, it's not. So one of our design considerations was the beauty of a nice walk. So 3 things will enhance our experience of the river. 1, restoring nature. 2, connecting neighborhoods. And 3, developing circuits or loops that allow you to experience your walk in a variety of ways. Let's talk about Everyone's River. Everyone's River, all 4 seasons. So the river can become a place for events of any scale. One-on-one, neighborhood parties, or major gatherings. The experiences we share here are important at how we enable the social interactions that are the foundation of any community. Our plan creates a myriad of experiences throughout the corridor, providing many reasons to come to the river in all 4 seasons. This will also disperse people, increasing the visibility and security of the corridor. Today, there are just 3 events that occur near the river: Rock the Park, Canada Day, and National Aboriginal Day. We propose that there could be many more. You good?
One of your objectives is urban regeneration and economic investment. It's something we have a lot of experience with. Many of the sites which are available for redevelopment or infill for mixed use here are on the river because that's where industry used to be. We have learned that revitalizing a river, bringing life back to the river, will bring life back to the city. So we have ideas in our plan about that. So here you see why we called it the ribbon of the Thames. The Thames is the ribbon that ties the community together, the shared experiences of the community from its past to its future. So now into our 2 proposals. At the Forks, we have a number of ideas, and not enough time to talk about them, of course, but we believe it's critical that people be able to move all the way around the Forks so it becomes a great central park for the city. That you be able to get down and touch and be in the water, that you be able to bring a canoe or kayak or a paddleboard and put it in the water, and that there should be things to do in a myriad of ways to get around. In a plan, you'll see we've added a couple of things. A thing we call the ribbon, which is number 9, projecting out over the water is a very exciting experience. A bridge from the north bank to the south on the west, so that you can in fact circulate all the way around to make a loop. Loops are extremely important to making parks active and effective. And once you have the loop, you can then see people from place to place, which communicates to you that it's okay to go to that other bank because there's something there to do. So a view from the city looking back towards the new bridge. These boomerang things are shade structures. And here looking back towards the city.
So imagine a series of canopies that had this light and delicate nature that focused the view straight to the river and had this gentle ebb and flow of light pulsating in and out that could be programmable with a continuous string of LEDs perhaps that would wrap around it. They're structurally engineered to have a mass that would create a spatial scale of a compression and release as you would walk through them. This could be a view of Canada Day, for instance. And as you terrace down to the forks, you have an opportunity to sit on terrace seating. You know, imagine meeting a friend here for a sunset walk and being able to see your friend maybe at Massey's new restaurant and boathouse underneath, where you can see canoes and kayaks launched off the edge of the what we're calling the fishtail jetty. You know, and what would a great postcard view be from this edge of the bridge looking back into the city. Again, you can see the ribbon overlook, which is a unique opportunity to see views of all three branches of the river. So here you can see the terracing down again of a very comfortable elevation change of terrace seating and steps and an accessible ramp that gets you down to the bottom. You know, how great would it be to be able to walk from downtown on your lunch break and go sit right here for lunch, meet a friend, stroll through the gardens, and by the way, we can accomplish all this and still protect the existing One Dundas building, the existing Popjet water feature, existing grove of trees around the existing play structures, and also protecting Ivy Park.
Before we move from this slide, there's a building shown here. We think that the Forks as a great central park for the city creates the most important site in London. And what we've suggested there in that black building with the white on it is maybe a performing arts building of some sort. It's a site that deserves the best cultural opportunity that you can have. I'm passing the hat for the new Performing Arts Center. In the Soho neighborhood, the other area that you've asked us to look into, again, we think a bridge to connect people from North Bank to South is essential to activating the neighborhoods and bringing the benefit of the river to those neighborhoods, not just to the old Victoria Hospital site redevelopment, but to the neighborhoods beyond. Go ahead. That's you. Go ahead. Oh. So here, the same thing, a series of loops to connect you together, neighborhood to neighborhood, place to place. And you'll notice in this lower area, there's a big drop-off right here. Here, there's an old oxbow of the river there that was dammed off, we think, in the 20s. And it's just a leftover. We think we can hydraulically reconnect that to the river, not necessarily with flowing water, but perhaps underground. Leave the dam in place, create that as an educational and somewhat of an experiment in restoration through management procedures more than through physical procedures, to open that up to people. And creating a pair of hills, number 4 and number 5 are hills that allow you to get up above the space so that, again, like at the Forks, you can see from place to place and see that it's okay to go from the end of Colborne Street across a bridge or down those terraces to the banks of the river and to circulate around. This is just a simple view looking back towards those terraces, or a bit of an overview of the idea of building that hill. We've actually already done a certain amount of study to determine that we believe it's entirely possible to fill within the floodplain of the river and to make up that missing storage by reopening that oxbow. We think there's approximately a trade-off there in terms of flood storage and management. So we think creating these rises will work.
So here's a view from the top of what we're calling Victoria's Lookout. As the Soho at Colborne Street opens up to views of the river. That was the primary objective of this. But imagine yourself as a family right here on the edge with a thin water lens pool that would act as a reflecting pool with the river beyond and pop jets that would activate it. This plaza here is big enough for multiple sized events, but still comfortable enough if there's not an event there, it's still comfortable in scale. It's flanked by seating areas on the right and the left, picnic areas, but the view of the hill beyond what we're calling Brisk Point is where, again, that triangulation can happen, both visually and physically. You know, and what if you were able to walk your daughter out on the edge of the cricket pitch and right next to the river and build a snowman and have some ice skating right next to, and again, a view up to the terraces of Victoria's Lookout and the new bridge beyond. And we've utilized the Soho redevelopment plan as a starting point to create this nice active edge with some gradual terracing down to the river. Along Waterloo, there's an existing bridge abutment that we see an opportunity to create an overlook that would align with this walk as somewhat of a transect through a variety of different landscape experiences and ecologies. Here's where you can have picnics at the cricket pitch, active play areas, and maybe get attacked by very large, oversized girls.
So your children would grow healthier and larger with our ideas. So I'd like to bring us to a close and to be ahead of time. Thank you, Governor. As you look at our boards, you'll see we had a lot of fun with this. And there's something extremely important I would ask you to think about. And this applies to all the teams, not just to us. Doing a design competition like this is a lot of work. It's a real investigation. There's a lot of discovery. And we have no idea if we're right or wrong. Because design competitions are one hand clapping. You notice you're not hearing anything. It's because your hand isn't hitting mine, so that we're hearing from you, from this community, what this place really means. Because to us, design is what creates the meaningful experiences that make your communities stronger. Thank you very much.